What is up, everybody? Well, it has happened. There is some big news today in the airdrop space. Hey folks, if you're new to the channel, well, my name is Justin and you're on Fast Entrepreneur. All right, let me get situated. I'm just a regular guy here, driving in the car. We talk a lot about crypto, and if you've been following the channel, awesome. If you're not following the channel, what are you waiting for? Nothing I say is financial advice ever, so always do your own research. But we got some exciting news for some, and there's some hope and things that we're going to talk about in case you're just new or you missed this yourself. Okay, what am I talking about? I'm talking about Optimism. Optimism had an airdrop. Well, they didn't do it yet, but they announced it, and you can actually go check your balance if you were eligible, see how many coins you got. Now, let's first take a step back for folks that are new to crypto and all this. What is an airdrop? An airdrop is basically free money. Projects, when they launch, sometimes they give new users tokens, etc., to incentivize them to take certain actions, and sometimes they reward you with coins. And if the project is actually valuable, like in the case of Optimism, which it may be, then these coins might actually be worth something. So here's the deal. What is Optimism? Okay, always do your own research. Obviously, depending on where you live, there could be, taxes, like you might be paying income tax on these airdrops, etc. But hey, some money is better than no money, right here. And but you got to do your own research on these, but very interesting. So here's what Optimism is. Optimism is a layer 2 solution to help scale Ethereum, right? So if you've been around and you know what Ethereum is, you know that the Ethereum network is slow, it's expensive, and it's just, it's not scaling, right? And so these layer 2 solutions have come about, things like Polygon, and there's others, and there will be others, to help try and scale this Ethereum monster, if you will. And now Optimism, they've been kind of running in the background, but if you go, you can look at like L2Beat, like these websites, you can look to see why Optimism is such a big deal, because it's probably in, I think last time I looked, maybe in the top 5 of kind of transaction, volume and just everything that it's doing. So it's kind of a big deal. And Optimism did not have a token. Now, there was a lot of speculation. Are they going to have a token? They're not going to have a token. They said, no, we're not doing a token. Well, anyways, they just announced that they're going to launch a token. And their criteria, there were like, I think 5 or 6 things. Have my Dr. Pepper. This is Dr. Pepper from like 3 or 4 days ago. I've been like sipping on it like a little bit here, a little bit there. It's just, it's kind of lost its fizzazzle, but it's good. So Optimism. There were like 5 or 6 criteria. Now, the first criteria, you got a certain number of coins if you were just a user of Optimism. Now, you had to be a user, before a certain date, and that snapshot was like last year. So, if you haven't been around for a while, you weren't anticipating it, chances are that didn't happen. Now, there were some other things. If you were a frequent user, if you use the platform, like more than once, or, once a week for 4 weeks, stuff like that. Did you vote on governance, etc.? So, what's interesting is they've said that they're going to be doing not just one airdrop, but a season of airdrops. So if you were not eligible, perhaps if looking at this first airdrop criteria, perhaps you might be able to set yourself up in the future for future ones by kind of taking a look and say, well, hey, maybe will they maybe do the same criteria? Should I start doing that stuff? Nobody really knows, but the way I look at it is sometimes on these big projects, it's maybe worth, a little bit of time to just kind of, put your feelers out there, try out the platform. Sometimes you do have to, pay little fees, etc. But, hey, if you end up getting some coins, and so the question is how much will Optimism coin be worth? there's even, I guess, even like Coinbase looks like they've got like a tracking page for potential price, so they might be listing it. So who knows? I mean, we know that, you know, when things get listed on Coinbase, they can really take off. But how much will it be worth? So kind of what, you know, the way I look at this is I look at what is the total supply of coins ever going to be in existence? What is the amount of coins that are going to be like, you know, in existence initially, like from day one and the first several months? And you'll kind of come up with like these two numbers, because depending on if you think whatever you think the price will be, right? Your first number will show you like the market cap, and then the other, you know, with the total number of coins, whatever times whatever your price is, you come up with like the diluted market cap, like, right? Like the total, if all the coins were out in circulation today and they were all priced at that same, you know, same price, what would it be? And so, you know, and I'm kind of looking at this and saying, okay, so rough ball thinking, you know, where would Optimism potentially fit in? What is an L2 solution? What other L2 solutions, you know, might it be competing with or for that already have coins that are on the market? You know, so maybe I look at like Matic, right, which is Polygon. Now, I'm not saying that this is always like one-to-one comparisons, but maybe it gives us an idea. You know, we've had a dip in the overall market now for several months, so you know, these market caps can change, right? But you know, it's possible that you know, I don't know, maybe. Listen, I've looked at a lot. It is speculation, but you know, maybe on a conservative. Again, this is not financial advice. This is just, you know, just hot air we're talking about here. But let's say if it's let's say $1 a coin conservative. I think that's pretty conservative, or at least that's what it seems to be. What if it's $3 a coin? Is it possible it could come out at $10 a coin or $15 a coin? And so when you run the numbers, you know, you kind of get an idea, hey, there might be a lot of hype around this. Maybe people didn't get the airdrop. Maybe people want to buy into it initially. Who knows? Maybe people that did get the airdrop want to dump the price. They want to dump it all on the market. Who knows? So that's Optimism. And definitely something keeping on radar. Now, since they're saying there's going to be a season of this, you know, it might not be a bad idea if you're interested. You know, what do? Well, you can bridge funds over to Optimism using a bunch of different bridges, right? So you could use like the Optimism, you know, they've got their own bridge, but you could use like Hop Exchange Bridge or Orbiter, or there's a lot of bridges, okay? And there's more and more that keep adding that have capability to bridge over to Optimism. And if you do use a bridge, sometimes if you're using a bridge that doesn't have a coin yet, right, and they may be a really good project, and then they end up, you know, incentivizing, hey, you used our bridge, so, you know, there's another airdrop, so, you know, maybe you kill two birds with one stone. Maybe you don't use a bridge, because sometimes there's fees with a bridge. You know, sometimes the fees are minimal, but, you know, you know, it depends on your situation and, you know, whether or not you don't want to be paying fees. But maybe you don't use a bridge. Maybe you have, you know, some Optimism already, and you know, or some ETH, you know, already bridged over to Optimism, and maybe you want to use that, and who knows? Okay, so then maybe you want to play around with some protocols, you know, some dApps like in Optimism. Maybe you know, Uniswap's usually a good place to start. You know, play around, maybe swap, pool, you know, etc. Then maybe you want to go and try out some other ones, right? Like I think synthetic, or, you know, you could take a look. But so that's kind of the idea of, and you know what? Then you just kind of wait. Then you be a little patient. And, you know, it seems that they want to reward early users and they want to reward frequent users, right? So maybe you just kind of, you know, make it a point that, you know, maybe it's once a week. Maybe it's every other week. Maybe it's once a month, depending on, maybe you decide, you know, it's not worth your time. Who knows? We don't know yet. But anyways, that is Optimism. And they said Q2. We don't know, you know, but we're in Q2 distribution. So this could be in the next couple of months. We'll have to see what happens. But you know, it was a very large anticipated airdrop if it was going to happen, just because of the nature of the project. It is an L2. And also to keep on your radar is Arbitrum. Arbitrum has said, you know, similar things. And Arbitrum, if you look again, they're basically these are basically doing similar things, and they're competing for the same shares. So very interesting, very interesting. I'm sure we'll have to circle back.